To begin this process, I took my illustration Fearless and I just traced over it with thicker lines. And with thicker lines, I learned that it's a little bit more forgiving when you're coloring. I prefer bolder lines as well for when I'm coloring a coloring page because I don't have to worry too much about coloring outside the lines. Either way, I feel like even having some line variations makes the piece a little bit more whimsy and adds a little bit more depth to the line variations. And along with doing this illustration, I wanted to explore it with another color palette, and I usually don't really rock orange. So I was like, let me do something with orange. And I decided to make her skin tone this peachy skin tone and then give her a ginger hair color. I really don't ever use the color orange. If I do, it's for my character Alicia, or it's just for something not ordinarily in fashion. But I love that I took the artistic liberty to get out of my comfort zone and do that. I wanted to add a little bit of red, but I don't think I want to anymore. I mean, it looks kind of reddish already, so I think I'm gonna leave it as that. It looks golden already, so I'm gonna leave it at that. However, I think I want these jewels to be red, but I'm gonna save that for last. The marker, it bled into the eye, but I'm gonna see if I can take a, I don't know. Some people say take a colorless blender and fix it that way. I'm gonna try that, but to see if it can take it out. Oh, it took it out. Wait. Oh my gosh. Wait. We'll see when it dries. Right now it just looks like it's gray. It might dry a little dark, like a little light gray. However, it took it out. Nice. And then it bled a little bit out, but I think that's okay because when I do the makeup on this character, it's gonna look good. I didn't think I was gonna do this color scheme, to be honest. At first I was thinking about doing this color, but I don't know. Something told me to do yellow, like a goldish color. I don't ever touch yellow. I think the only time I ever use yellow is if it's for jewelry. I'm liking how it's looking so far. For some reason, I feel like I should have gave her freckles. You guys will see at the end of this video the result, but I feel like I could have given her freckles now that I look at it again. But yeah, I was so excited to even have the idea to create my own coloring page. My creations are just so whimsy, and I would want to create a coloring book in the future, you know, by God's will, that it is just what I imagined in a coloring page, just something that I would like for when I just want to relax and just color away, listen to some chill lofi music or just some nice classical. So I'm speeding up the process here because coloring hair, especially this big for a portrait piece, is definitely going to take longer than it should. So I'm speeding this up for the time that we have. But I really like how this is coming out so far and just working with this color. I don't know what color this is. It's like it's orangey, however, it has a bit of a rust to it, so it's really pretty. And just to do this color for a ginger hairstyle, it makes me want to create more with orange. I like I said in the video, I really only use yellow and oranges just to create gold metallic kind of things. I don't really use it for anything else. This makes up for like a really pretty peach color. Now this is a color Alicia loves. She loves peach. I personally don't like the color orange. I feel like it depends. It depends on its tone or its tint. Like if it's too light or if it's too dark, it really depends. But in general, I'm just not like an orange person. Of course, my color is pink and purple, but I like trying out different colors. I feel like my style is very pink coated. And by saying pink coated, I mean whatever feeling that pink gives me, I want that to also, I also want to feel that way with my any other color that I'm wearing. Now we're hopping into my favorite part, which is coloring the jewels. And I left this to be the last part as the cute little embellishment. I wanted to go in with Copic, but I changed my mind because the spaces that I left are very tiny. And I don't know how I feel about that. If I were to go back in to redo this coloring page, I don't know. I'm still debating if I want to take a little bit of it out. But whoever does want to fill in those little spaces, you know, they could just go in with a color pencil or anything small, like a small colored liner to fill in those spaces. But I first went in with midtones and then I left some white spaces to give off that like shine appearance. And then I went in with a second mid-tone color, which is a shade darker, so that it would have some dimensions, like there's planes of the jewels shining. And I lightly filled in some areas and blended it out with a white color pencil. This is literally my favorite part because I've been experimenting and practicing how to color jewels. So doing this part, it just adds to the glam. One of my favorite parts about doing the face is doing the makeup, which is adding blush because it just makes the cheeks so squishy and it just adds to the makeup. Blush is like one of my favorite things when it comes to makeup anyways, along with eyeshadow. But I feel like this is where I should have added some freckles, even if it's very light, you know, not even a lot of freckles, but I feel like it would have added a lot to her ginger characteristics. When I think of people who have ginger hair, I think of them having freckles. Like they're very sun-kissed, they're very warm. That's what it reminds me of. But I feel like even just doing this is really nice. She's going on with the full glam. A little bit of her lipstick is smudged, so I'm just going to conceal that away with a peachy skin tone color pencil. Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is a new spot that you haven't seen. This is actually a corner in my little office space. I want to show you guys my finished coloring page, and I love how it turned out. Oh, look at her. Oh my gosh. I love how this turned out. I added white highlights in the little hair just to make it look like tinsel in a way, so that it's kind of glittering in a way. I do like how this turned out. These flowers are so funny to me because they kind of look like cookies, like I don't know, like very textured cookies. It's so funny, but I really like how this turned out. I don't know, maybe in the future I'll create a Goddess by Heart coloring page, but I want to hear from you if you agree and what kind would you like. I'm leaning more towards fashion and fashion portraits, or more whimsy ones, like seeing little teddy bear characters just hanging around, seeing the visionary princesses just wandering around, just doing very girly things you would see anyone do. I really adore how this picture turned out, and this is just regular photocopy paper, but I definitely would want thicker paper for something like this. But again, this is just a test page, and thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day. It is so sunny outside. I just want to go out there. It's really chilly outside. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for coming, and I hope to see you again. Bye.